Hey, welcome to my channel. So, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 17. This is from season 2. The title was Who's Calling Who a Fraud? On this particular episode, we have where the husbands have gotten together and presented the ladies with a trip to this place called Zion. If we wanted to believe that the husbands really did that. Okay, bravo production. But anyway, so we have that Mary and Meredith, of course, they're not going to ride in the vehicle with the ladies. They decided to take a private plane to get to the location. It's like a 4-hour drive from Park Lake City. And on the Sprinter, we have all the other ladies. We have Heather, Whitney, Jenny, and Jen, and also Lisa. And lo and behold, there was also one other individual that was part of Jen's glam squad, it appears. So we have those people on the van. So on the ride to Zion, Jen take it upon herself to start an argument with Lisa because she wants Lisa to hold Meredith accountable. She's stating that Lisa does not treat Meredith the same as she treats the other ladies. See, Jen, she's kind of pissed off with Meredith that she found out that Meredith had hired a private detective, and she's under the assumption that Meredith only hired a private detective for her. So she's also thinking that maybe Meredith and Mary had something to do with the law enforcement coming to arrest her earlier during the season, which she's very delusional. I mean, she knows that her businesses have been under investigation for some time now, and even the people that work with her, from my understanding, had already been indicted or being investigated even before this season, even before they started filming for this season. So that lady is so delusional, it's ridiculous. So anyway, she's throwing a tantrum on the van, and she gets up and she's all in Lisa's face. And of course, Lisa's trying to figure out what this crazy lady is talking about. And Lisa's stating that her and Meredith have been friends for a very long time. Like they really have a true friendship. And she can't, she doesn't know what Jen's talking about, and how can she hold Meredith accountable about something that she does not know? Like she doesn't know exactly what Meredith did as far as hiring the private detective and private detective, and there is no knowledge of Mary or Meredith calling the law enforcement to the beauty lab to arrest Jen. So it's just Jen's trying to get attention, and she's, I don't know, I kind of feel like she's trying to fool us, the viewers, to think that maybe she's innocent. I'm not buying it. And I do understand you're innocent until proven guilty. And hopefully things will work out for her because, hey, she does have her family. And she started having a breakdown about that on the van too, talking about her family and what's all at stake. But girl, you should have thought about that when you was scamming those old people out their money allegedly. Where were the thoughts of your family when you had this criminal activity going on, if that's what truly happened? So we know that the other person that's outside the cast is on the van because Lisa and Jen, they really almost got into a physical fight. And we see all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this African American lady comes and she grabs Jen and, like try to get her to calm down and sit down. And of course, Jenny, she was trying to keep them separated also, but it wasn't enough for Jenny to be between them. So it's a good thing that they did have that other person that was on the van that came and grabbed Jen and made her sit down. And then once she sat down and seemed like she was coming back to her senses from throwing that little tantrum she was throwing, that's when Lisa got up and she went and gave her a hug and told her, to focus on herself. And that if it take her to hit her or beat her up or whatever just to get out her frustration, and then it was okay for her to do that or whatever. So we have that little bit going on their way to Zion. So they finally arrived to Zion in peace without any incidents. And shortly after they get there, that's when Mary and Meredith, they arrive. So before Mary and Meredith arrived to the house, we have the ladies that were in the van to arrive: Jen, Heather, Whitney, and Jenny. So they arrive at the house, and then of course they always have to do a pool scene. Like, I'm so over these ladies going jumping in the pool. It's I'm over it. So we have they all come out. They're chilling by the pool. We find out that Jenny cannot swim, and we have Miss Thang, Jen, to come out with her bathing suit on. She really need to put some clothes on. Point blank. Period. Like, keep your clothes on, lady. We do not need to see the skin. It's To me, it's not even attractive, you know. So we have them playing around the pool or whatever. So the ladies all pick their rooms and everything, and then as soon as Mary and Meredith arrives at the house, it's like they're ready to leave so they can go to something that Whitney set up, and it's something to do with a spiritual healer. It seems to be very how can I say? They go to this location, and it's like the ground was all red. It was a beautiful scenery, and it has some type of maze like thing where they can walk around, and you know, uh it was like a spiritual chant. Well, they didn't do chants. They were like saying each other name and beating drums and everything. But the thing is that they had left Mary at the house because Mary was not ready when they were getting ready to leave, and they were trying to get to the location before the sun went down. And I thought it was pretty shady of Whitney. She went and she told Meredith, but she didn't take the time to go tell Mary. But I will give her that the benefit of the doubt, because Mary's been giving Whitney a very hard time this season. Like, I really think that Mary's been very nasty to Whitney, and she has yet to apologize to Whitney. So all the ladies left Mary, and they went to the spiritual thing. And Mary came later on, I think about 35 minutes later. So once Mary arrived, and they tried to invite Mary over to the seance, that the spiritual thing that they were doing, and Mary decided, she told him no, because she only wants to be committed to her God and what she believes, which is understandable, you know. It's okay if you don't, if someone doesn't want to partake in what others are partaking in. So that's the way, that's the stance that Mary took, that she didn't want to be a part of the spiritual ritual that they were doing. But it did seem to be something that was very it seemed to be something really good, and maybe like I can sense that it was like something spiritual related, and where they could really, maybe they could find some healing from whatever they needed healing from. You know, it seemed like something that would probably be effective. um I would have to try to look into it further to see exactly what it was all about, and this the spiritual leader that was there. And it just looked so beautiful, because all the ladies were dressed in white except for Meredith, because she didn't have time to change. But all the other ladies were dressed in white, and white is, is for purity. And the spiritual leader, she gave them some type of red scarf to wrap around themselves. So we fast forward to them getting back to the house after the spiritual ritual that they went to, and they're sitting outside getting ready for dinner. And all of a sudden, the topic comes up about um, Whitney asked the questions about why Meredith and Mary did not ride with them, why they decided to travel separately. So Meredith, she gives an answer about why she didn't travel with them on the Spencer. But then when Whitney asked Mary, and Mary said she didn't think she needed to give an explanation, and she did not. And then Whitney also asked about apology, and Mary was like she didn't feel like giving an apology. It wasn't a time for it or something like that. Anyway, I don't know why Whitney continues to try to confront Mary. Whitney, it is what it is. Sometimes you have to leave people alone, especially when the person is like special. So, like, just wait until Mary comes around and apologize to you. So then we find out, well, Whitney wants to know why Meredith hired a private detective. Yeah, so at the dinner, Whitney, she wants to question Meredith and Mary on why they didn't ride to Zion with them because since Mary and Meredith were running late, getting dressed and changed and everything, it delayed the ladies from getting to the spiritual um place that Whitney had scheduled, and she there was part of the event that they missed out on because they had to get there before the sun went down. So she's asking them questions about why they didn't ride with them, once again. And so, as I mentioned, Meredith, she gave her excuse stating that she had to take her husband to the doctor, blah blah blah, but it's like they were not buying it. And then, of course, when Whitney asked Mary, Mary said she didn't have to give an excuse and there's nothing that she had to say about it. So the dinner really turns into a ish show. So you have Jen who wants to jump on Meredith about asking Meredith why she hired a private private detective to investigate her, and she was saying that she didn't hire a private detective to investigate her, only her. She hired it for everyone because her son was receiving messages. Someone was sending some nasty messages to Brooks. And so it's where Jenny was the person that told Jen. It's just a misunderstanding. And it was really funny because all those ladies were going at each other. And so Meredith gets up and she leaves the table. And they tell Mary that it's on her to go get Meredith back and bring her back to the table so they can hash things out. But Mary's only concerned about the steak and potatoes. She wants to eat the steak and potatoes. So they was like, your steak and potatoes will be here when you come back with Meredith. I don't know. This group of ladies is really they are really funny. The things that they say and that they do. And this franchise of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is like one of the best. This has been a great season. So all in all is that with Whitney, she's trying to get to the bottom of the issue that her and Mary is having. And it's like the group, they're more focused on Meredith and Lisa and trying to get them in a good place. And then Whitney's like, what about me? What about me? What about me and Mary? Mary doesn't like me. Mary doesn't care for me. And Mary's just like, no, I don't. So it is what it is. So it's where Jan, she wants to jump down Meredith's throat because she wants to know why she had the private detector. And so they have that little chaos going on. And that was pretty much it. But the thing is, now it's all out that Mary is no longer going to be on the show. And I really hate to hear that. And I don't know if it's because of She did not attend the reunion, and I'm thinking she decided not to attend the reunion because it was a rumor that Meredith came forward and she stated that she backed Jenny with the comment about the slanted eyes. And so it's like Mary, she doesn't have anyone on her side, especially with all the racist comments that she made throughout the season. And also on top of that, we have her family that's been coming forward doing interviews. One in particular is her cousin Dan. I've seen an interview with her cousin Dan on Up and Adam. That was like maybe a year ago. And now this same cousin Dan, he's came back and he's done an interview on Sherelle's World, and it's been like very juicy. Like he's spilling all the tea on Mary. He Dan made it known that Cameron, the guy that was on this season earlier, statement who made the statement to Meredith and Lisa that, well, to Lisa, that Mary had him to refinance his house for $300,000, and he gave the money to Mary and the bishop. And so what cousin Dan is stating is that Cameron confided in him information about him and Mary, and that him and Mary had been in a 3-year relationship. And actually, this is a relationship that was known in the church, and that Mary and Cameron, they had confessed their relationship to the bishop, and that the bishop allowed it to continue on. So it's like a lot of juicy detail that the family member, the cousin Dan, has came forward with. And not only that, he's even came forward. There was a second interview that Sherelle posted on her YouTube even earlier today, where Dan was reading messages from members and giving more information. And they even played some of the clips of his conversations with Cameron before Cameron passed away, because Cameron, he passed away last year, and that was from some brain tumor that he had. So may he rest in peace. So it's like the whole situation is very shady, because even with the cousin Dan, with him playing recordings, he said that he recorded every conversation that he had with other people. It's like really shady. Like, who wants to be on the phone or be around you and you're going to record them, and then later on you're going to play it? Like, I don't, it's no, it's like team too much, kind of. Even though I am here for the tea, I am definitely tuned in. And according to Sherelle on her YouTube channel, there's more to come. So I'm going to continue to be tuned in and to catch all the tea. Even though no one really knows, except for God for sure knows the truth. But with the different people that's coming forward, because they did also have the Uncle Ernie who came forward. And the thing that's strange to me is that I know from listening to the Uncle Ernie, he even stated that he was all for Mary and the bishop getting together. The bishop, which is Mary's grandfather, her step grandfather, who was married to her grandmother. So you're a family member who was okay with your niece getting with someone that was married to your mother, someone that you look to and you call dad. You were okay with that until you were cut off. So it's like, oh, I don't know. It's kind of hard to believe what these people are saying, what they're coming forward saying about Mary. But it is a question about where she gets all her money from, especially with all the designer things that she has in that hoarder of a closet that she had. Well, she's a hoarder. She's like overloaded with expensive things. So it's like, how are you living your lifestyle? So we know about Jen and what she's allegedly been doing with her businesses as far as stealing from the elderly people. But it's so heavily rumored that the church is a cult, And one of the things they do is they take over the people's mind, and they have ways of making the people think that the only way they can get to God is through them. And they're even stating that Mary is proclaiming to be God herself. And they state that they have videotapes of her proclaiming to be God, and that the only way that they can get through or reach God is to come through her. So it's like maybe they are brainwashing the people, and there's a cult situation going on. So I don't know. It's a lot. And so it was also rumored. I think I caught this on Ken Pyre's YouTube, where he stated that Mary went on Twitter. I think as recent as last night, and she was stating that she's not related to Dan, but Dan is her first cousin. So it's kind of funny too. I don't know. God help them. And up in Adam, he has a video. He has an interview that he's gonna be posting tomorrow. Is where he went to Salt Lake City and he did a sit down with Mary's mom. I think her name is Rhosl. And so from the clip that Up in Adam played, it's showing that her mom is supporting her, that Mary's mom is supporting Mary, and she's stating that the bishop is the problem and that Mary is the victim. So I don't know. It's just like a lot of chaos going on. I really wish that Mary would have came to the reunion. She could have scurried around the questions and everything, but I understand if it's a lot of heat for her, especially with dealing with all the racist comments that she made throughout the season, and now the alleged affair with her and Cameron, and the alleged cult running a code, and also there was someone that stabbed their own self in the heart and died, and there's like other people coming forward stating that they have been manipulating people, getting money from people. I don't know if it's where they have them to refinance their homes and they give the money to them and other things. The cousin Dan even mentioned that they would have people working, like slaving away, working, cooking. I think they cook and sell meals. I don't know if it's a what restaurant situation or something like that. But he's really adamant about stating that they are running a cult, and that Mary and the bishop both are abusing the church members, and that it's just a lot of chaos going on. So I guess we have to stay tuned and see what comes up next. Unfortunately, Mary's not going to be on the reunion. It's rumors that the production's been reaching out to her, so I don't know if they're trying to just do a one-on-one interview with her, or a one-on-one reunion with her to get her to answer to some of the stuff that's coming out and some of the things that happened throughout the season. I don't know. I guess time will tell. Well, it was a really good episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next episode. I'm looking forward to listening to the interviews that Up and Adam, Sherelle's World, and any other YouTuber has out there, and whatever else may come forward. Um, if there are truly victims out there, I do pray that they find the healing that they need. I pray that they will get out of the cult situation, because it's not cool. And I do understand that I really do believe that it's easy to manipulate people and to convince people to think a certain way. So it's like you really have to be careful. I always say that you really have to be focused, and you have to know and learn for yourself. If you're a Christian, and if you believe in Christ, then you need to open the Bible, you need to study it for yourself. And you don't have to go I'm a Christian myself, and I do not believe you have to go through anyone else besides Jesus Christ. And that's where you study the Bible, you pray, and you let everything be in Jesus' name. And so, no matter what a pastor, reverend, whatever you may call them, whatever they may be saying, if they're asking you for more than your 10%, which is in the Bible, as far as your tithes, then yeah, there may be a situation. I've never been crazy about any church where when you go, they want you to pay more than your tithes. No. Yeah, if you send a collection plate around for the youth, I will maybe put a $5 or $10 in there. But even with that, I'm careful because I keep a calculation of everything that I give. So if I know that I've already given some money throughout the year, I have my limit that's personal to myself. So once I meet my limit, that's it. They can go around and pass those plates for the youth, for the building fund, for whatever. Look, I got my own building fund. I have to take care of my home. So outside the 10%, I don't care if it's the pastor's birthday. I don't care if it's the first lady birthday. I don't care if it's the anniversary. If I feel like it, I may give. If not, then I may just give a card. If they got a card floating around, I'll just sign my name on it. Happy anniversary. Where's my anniversary gift? Where's my birthday gift? I'm not trying to come across mean, but it's just like you really have to be careful around these churches and everything. And not just the church. It could be in the Kingdom Hall that the Jehovah Witnesses go to. It could be Catholic. It could be the mosques with the Muslims. Anything. It's like you really have to pray over yourself. Pray for your mind, because the mind, it is something that can easily slip and anyone could take over your brain. So I do hope that the victims find the healing that they need, and whatever they've been cheated out of, I hope they get their money back. And if it's true, because all of this is alleged and we don't know for sure, but if it does come out to be true, then maybe it was meant. Maybe this is God's way, or maybe someone's been praying and this is God's answer. It was meant for Mary to come to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It was meant for her family to come forward and put her on blast, and then that gave the victims the courage to come forward and state what's happened to them. Because I'm hearing that a lot of the people are still scared and they're afraid to come forward, but maybe this is their outlet. So I'm a believer that God works in mysterious ways, and so maybe this is the way that things were to work out. So we have to continue to stay tuned and see what happens. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel and viewing my video. I hope you leave a comment, and if you would please like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will be bringing as much content as I can. Thank you so much. Bye.